Right now, over 730 women are sealed inside steel tubes 400 feet below the ocean surface, sharing space with around 100 men each. They sleep in racks smaller than coffins, share 4 bathrooms among dozens of crew members, and breathe recycled air for months without surfacing. But these aren't prisoners serving sentences. They're America's submarine sailors, and what they've accomplished in the most confined environment on Earth will change everything you thought you knew about life underwater. But before we dive into how they not only survived this environment, but actually excelled in it, you need to understand exactly what trapped means when you're 400 feet below the ocean surface. Walk through the hatch of a Virginia-class submarine, and you'll understand confinement in ways most people never will. The pressure hull stretches 377 feet from bow to stern, but livable space tells a different story. The reactor compartment, turbines, and propulsion systems consume roughly one-third of that length. What remains houses 135 sailors for 6 months straight. Think of it this way. You're sharing a 3-bedroom house with 134 other people, and nobody can leave until the patrol ends. An Ohio-class submarine runs even tighter ratios, packing 155 crew members into similar quarters. The difference between these vessels and your home? No windows exist, no fresh air circulates, no exit once the boat submerges. Living arrangements make college dorms look spacious. Enlisted sailors sleep in racks, bunks stacked 3 high with curtains for privacy, and a 5-inch storage bin for all personal belongings. Officers fare slightly better in staterooms, but 3 officers share a room so small they can't all stand up simultaneously at the same time without bumping into each other. Bathroom facilities serve the entire crew on rotating schedules. Fast attack submarines typically have 2 bathrooms with 4 toilets each for about 100 crew members. Privacy doesn't exist in any traditional sense. Every personal moment requires coordination with dozens of others. And here's the reality that changes everything. Once the submarine dives, there's no emergency exit, no calling in sick, no stepping outside for fresh air. You're committed until the mission ends. For the 730 women currently serving in this environment, this isn't a theoretical challenge, it's their daily reality. But how did women end up in what was once the Navy's most exclusive male-only club? Before 2010, women couldn't serve on submarines. The official reasoning? No privacy, no space for modifications, and concerns about mixed-gender crews in confined spaces. But that changed on April 29, 2010, when Defense Secretary Robert Gates announced the end of the submarine service ban on women. In 2011, the first female officers reported to Ohio-class submarines, not the smaller attack subs, but the massive ballistic missile submarines chosen specifically because they offered more space and multiple bathrooms that could be adapted for mixed crews. These women weren't given easier assignments. They underwent the same grueling nuclear power training, the same submarine qualification process, and the same standards as their male counterparts. Lieutenant Commanders Andrea Howard and Emma McCarthy were among the pioneers, facing equipment designed for average male height, periscopes positioned too high, and valves requiring upper body strength that many women lacked. They didn't complain. They adapted, earned their dolphins, and proved themselves through merit. By 2015, enlisted women joined the force. The barriers weren't just breaking, they were shattering. Women began serving in every submarine role: engineers operating nuclear reactors, sonar technicians tracking enemy vessels, weapons specialists managing torpedo systems, and logistics experts keeping the submarine operational. Today, women serve across 38 submarines in roles once unimaginable. They stand watch as diving officers, making split-second decisions that keep the submarine safe. They lead divisions, manage complex technical systems, and carry the same life-or-death responsibilities as every submariner before them. But putting women on submarines designed for men created challenges that nearly derailed the entire program. Originally, submarines were built with zero consideration for women. Berthing areas used curtains instead of doors. Equipment placement assumed male average height. Privacy was an afterthought because it had never been necessary. Early integration required creative solutions. Bathrooms got scheduling systems with signs indicating when women were using the facilities. Birthing spaces were reassigned and partitioned. Equipment access points that had worked for decades suddenly became problematic. But September 14, 2024, marked a revolution. The USS New Jersey became the first submarine in history designed from the keel up for complete gender integration. This wasn't about retrofitting old designs. This was reimagining what a modern submarine could be. The changes seem subtle but make enormous differences. Solid doors replaced curtains. Berthing areas gained separate sections with proper lockable privacy. Overhead valves were repositioned lower and made easier to operate. Steps were installed for accessing top bunks and equipment. Medical facilities were upgraded to support women's specific health needs. The USS New Jersey currently operates with 40 women among its 135 crew members, the highest concentration of women on any fast attack submarine in history. The commanding officer's assessment? Integrated crews perform 15 to 20% better than single-gender crews. All future Virginia-class and Columbia-class submarines will incorporate these design improvements as standard. The days of modifying submarines for women are ending. New submarines are being built with integrated crews as the baseline expectation. However, design improvements couldn't prevent the serious problems that nearly destroyed the Women in Submarines program entirely. Between 2011 and 2015, multiple serious incidents threatened the entire integration program. On the USS Wyoming, male sailors secretly recorded female officers showering and distributed the videos among crew members. On the USS Florida, male crew members created rape lists ranking female sailors. These weren't minor disciplinary issues. These were criminal violations that resulted in courts-martial and dismissals. The Navy's response was swift and decisive. Zero-tolerance policies were implemented and enforced. Commanding officers were held personally responsible for their crew's conduct. Sexual harassment prevention became mandatory submarine qualification training. This stands in stark contrast to other navies. The Royal Navy's submarine service faced similar integration challenges, but handled them differently. Internal investigations revealed 71 cases of misconduct between 2014 and 2020, including systematic harassment and the creation of crush-depth rape lists. The difference? The U.S. Navy took immediate action, while the Royal Navy allowed problems to fester. The results speak for themselves. Enlisted women submarine sailors re-enlist at 74.9%, higher than the 74% rate for men. Female officers show department head retention rates 1.5% higher than their male peers. Women aren't just surviving submarine service, they're choosing to stay at higher rates than men. Master Chief Angela Kugler became the Navy's first female chief of the boat in 2022, the senior enlisted advisor position on a submarine. Lieutenant Commander Amber Cowan became the first female executive officer of a submarine the same year. The Navy expects to name its first female submarine commanding officer by 2028. These aren't participation trophies. These are combat leaders earning positions through merit and excellence in the world's most demanding military environment. The truth about women living underwater for months with around 100 men isn't about surviving impossible odds. It's about professional performance in conditions that break most people. These 730 women aren't serving as symbols or experiments. They operate nuclear reactors, track enemy vessels, and maintain weapons systems hundreds of feet below the surface because they qualified for the job. By 2028, the Navy will assign its first female submarine commanding officer. She won't make history for being a woman. She'll make history as one of the most qualified officers in the fleet. The submarine force learned what the best organizations already know. When the mission matters more than anything else, excellence shows up, regardless of who delivers it.